say, big things come in small packages. Both Auntie M's and this museum in Tucson open visitors up to a whole new world where large spaces are filled with small objects that, when magnified, seem larger than life. Behind these giant wooden doors is a world of many wonders.
I think many people hear the word miniatures and maybe their first thought is dollhouses or playthings for children. It's not. There's a lot of artistry involved with the creation of miniatures, and there is applications and many other facets of things that our society does. But it's also about education and it's about imagination.
The Mini Time Machine Museum of Miniatures in Tucson takes you beyond your imagination and lets you explore the world at large.
In our permanent collection, we have 3 main gallery spaces. We have our Enchanted Realm Gallery, which is fantasy-based miniatures. We have the Contemporary Exploring the World Gallery, which showcases contemporary artists, fine scale, and miniatures that depict other places around the world. And our History Gallery, which is antique miniatures dating as far back as 1742.
The most popular scale for contemporary miniatures is a 1/12 scale, whereby a foot in real life equals an inch in the miniature world.
Many miniatures and miniature artists that we represent in our collections are fine-scale miniature artists, and they use processes and techniques that their full-scale counterparts would use in creating a piece. So a miniature silversmith who is good at his trade will actually cast his silver using the same process that a full-scale silversmith would, but on a 1/12 scale, which, as you can imagine, makes it so much more difficult to complete.
Miniatures was one of the top 3 hobbies in the United States starting in the late 70s and remained popular for about a decade.
Nowadays, and here in our museum, what we see is sort of one or two things. Visitors come in and they're so amazed by the craftsmanship and just imagining that process and what it might entail to make something so tiny and so exquisite. Or they are imagining themselves in a scene, and the miniatures really allow them to be different places and in different times that they wouldn't normally be able to experience.
Miniatures also help people see the big picture.
Architects have long used them to begin their process to make a scale model of something. They're also used in theater and in cinema to create sets, and sometimes they're seen as part of the final production, and sometimes they're just used so the cameraman can actually envision in a 3-dimensional application where cameras will be, where people will be, where light will be, and that helps them fully understand when they get to their full-scale creation of that scene. My favorite miniatures in the museum are in our History Gallery because they're so old and you really get a sense for what they have been through and what they've been used for. The oldest piece is a Nuremberg kitchen from 1742, and at that time in Germany, these kitchens were created to teach young girls how to become homemakers, and so they were sort of the predecessor of the easy bake oven. You would have plumbing that you could actually plumb water through so girls could learn to do the dishes and where those dishes would go. You could put a candle in the stove so they could practice applications of preparing a dinner and not cooking the dinner, obviously, but just going through the steps of what was involved in homemaking at that time.
Since opening in 2009, more than 200,000 visitors from all over the world have walked through these doors.
The number one thing we hear is that this is more than they expected. And I think people, again, they hear the word miniatures, they're not sure what to expect. They maybe think of things they played with as a child or they saw in their grandmother's basement, and they come here and they see this world-class exhibit, and they see how miniatures still play an important role in our society in inspiring imagination and teaching people about things that are no longer here.
It really is a small world after all.